What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Reality Check Report. I'm your girl, Miss O, and I am checking in, and we are back for another review with me as we review The Scene ATL Season 1, Episode 7, titled Nasty Like Your Attitude. So, as the intro plays, do us a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let somebody know I'm over here doing reviews. So we open this episode up with Scotty meeting with his friends Jay Amore and Troy, and you guys may be familiar with them too as they were on Chasing Atlanta. So the topic of conversation, of course, is Scotty and Bando. Troy grills Scotty on what's going on with that. And everybody gotta know what Scotty and Bando got going on. FYI, season 1 of The Scene ATL was solely about Bando and Scotty's relationship. No, but for real. Everybody is trying to figure out what the hell Scotty and Bando got going on. And it's very confusing for the people on the outside as well as the people on the inside. Scotty and Bando, they trying to figure out what they got going on. So a person cannot deliver an answer to you if they don't have a definitive answer for themselves. So anyway, Scotty tells them that they're trying to figure it out. And Troy asks a great question. And the question was, so what does figuring it out looks like? Are you guys getting back together? Are you guys trying to figure out where you guys stand as friends? You know, inquiring minds would like to know. That was a great question, Troy. So I think in this episode, this is the first time where Scotty, gives a breakdown and proceeds to tell his friends the timeline of the situation that involves him and Bando. Scotty tells Jay and Troy that they haven't been in a relationship since December, and it was just some things going on. He wasn't quite ready. They wasn't on the same page. Essentially, that's what it sounded like. He had some things he needed to work out. Scotty just didn't want to, partake in those things, so he stepped away. And from the sounds of it, with them getting back, being around each other, they figuring the shit out. So Scotty tells Jay and Troy that they're just friends for the moment. And everybody put emphasis on the moment. But in the confessional, Scotty finally said what could have deaded this whole topic of conversation a long time ago. When he said, I can't give you an answer because I don't know. And essentially, that's what it is. We're trying to figure it out. Me as a viewer, I'm trying to figure out why everybody concerned. Like, once your friend tells you they just friends, we trying to figure it out. That's it. They trying to figure it out. And when they figure it out, they come to y'all and let y'all know what's going on. They also go over how Scotty's been feeling about his book launch and everything involving that. He stated that he normally would be in a depressive state because of the financial woes behind it. And not really financial woes. He is a man that has things planned out. And he Like he tells Scotty Gang all the time, I like to have a certain amount tucked away. And with him putting out this book, it kind of interfered with that money that was tucked away. So he's feeling a little uneasy and uncomfortable. He's not in a hole, but he's not where he's normally at, and that's bothering him. But one thing his friend group let him know is you got to put money into it. You got to invest in yourself. And Scotty, I think investing in yourself by putting this book out was a great investment because it's a great book. I cannot wait until the second book in this series. So after all of that, Troy lets him know that he wouldn't be available, for the book launch, but he wanted to get him his flowers. And the way that Troy was giving Scotty his flowers, one, you can tell that this is a genuine friendship. I almost teared up when he was giving his flowers, but it's also good to see. Well, what I would say is sometimes people have parasocial relationships with these content creators and these celebrities, okay? And some of the things that the people in the Scotty gang have told Scotty via chat, email, DMs, whatever, they express how proud they are of him, being a part of his journey from a parasocial, aspect to see an actual friend, a genuine friend express the same things that we tell him. Scotty, I really hope you take heed to this. You've come a long way as being a part of your Scotty gang for a long time. Being around when you was Mr. Still Standing in the closet, then move to, the kitchen, I've been there, and to see your progression, it is amazing to see. It's inspiring to see. You are inspiring a lot of people. Hey, one time, some people was going crazy in your chat, and you told them, this my motherfucking channel. If you got so much to say, start your own channel. It wasn't directed at me, but you had a point. I felt like I had something to add to the review space on YouTube. So that's what I did. Thank you. You inspired me. So that ended up wrapping up the scene with Jay Amore and Troy. I love this scene. It seemed like a true, genuine scene. And like I said, Scotty, I hope you take heed. And I hope to see them on our screen in this sector, being friendly. I hope to see them some more on my screen. So next up, we move on to Miss JT. And we start off with a confessional, and she states that she needed a pause from the group and to reset. She needed to get her mind right. It was just so much going on, and that's just where she is right now. Sidebar, when she said I needed to get my mind right, if you know, you know. I knew exactly what she was saying. Hello, fellow gardener. So in the scene, we got her hanging out with her friends, Sean and Crosby. They've been friends about 5 or 6 years. They met doing creative things, modeling, working on different platforms and things of that nature. So they just catching up. I believe that is Sean. He had an ACL tear. If I get their names mixed up, my bad. Had an ACL tear, so he was just going in, letting them know how that process has been going for him and everything. And it seems like he's coming along good based on what he's telling Miss JT and Crosby. Now, also in the confessional, Miss JT had to let us know that she loves the NIGGAs. Okay, she loves them down. She love that energy. She love hanging out with them. And Sean, he gonna roll a nice J. And she loves indulging with a nice J. That is her medicine. Without it, she wouldn't know how she would get by from day to day. I hear you, Miss JT. I mean, I hear you. So after all of the pleasantries on Shauna Crosby end, they say, "Hey, look, you summoned us here. What's going on? Tell us what why you call us here." So there were multiple things that she brought them there to discuss. One of the major things she brought them there to discuss was that she was contacted by a production company who has an app on the streaming platforms Amazon and Roku. They are in talks for her to create a scripted TV show. So this scripted TV show is going to be her first scripted TV show, and it's going to be called The Whitmores. And The Whitmores is going to follow a family who is top dog in the narcotics industry. She feel like this is her time and the area expertise to put people who are normally not in these realms to be in. So it's going to be a trans woman ahead of this family that's involved in narcotics who has a right hand man and her brother, and she is going to be taking over. And you have to have representation. And what she is doing is amazing. I mean, it's some of everybody, some of everywhere doing some of everything. You know what I'm saying? And the little girls and the little boys who are transitioning need that representation. And here we go. I can't wait to see what the Whitmores look like, because I like Queen of the South. She also discloses to her friends that she is going to be moving back home to South Carolina. She's been in Atlanta for 3 years, and Atlanta has not always loved her. And she realized that she has been a little naive with some of the decisions that she decided to make with certain things. So she just need to go home, reset, regroup, and come back stronger than ever. Stronger than ever. She also let them know that she'll be back roughly once or twice a month, because she still had things going on in Atlanta. But going back home, sometimes you just need you need that foundation to help build you back up. So Miss JT, don't think anything of it. People move back home all the time, and sometimes moving back home will actually be better than you being away. So I hope everything you dream and desire comes true. Go home, regroup, reset, and come back. Pop out like no other. Now, in Miss JT's confessional, we learned that Sean and Crosby are cisgender heterosexual males. And honestly, it's good to see a dynamic like this. I mean, the transphobia and homophobia is real. And it just needs to stop. People are people. However they choose to identify, it's how they choose to identify. Let it go. A lot of the problem in this world is that people are not kind to people. People are human. People need to be kind to people. So to see this dynamic, to hear this dynamic out loud, them not giving a fuck what nobody got to say or the scenarios they try to put out there, kudos to Sean and Crosby. I actually appreciate you guys for that. So we wrap that scene up, and the next scene is Carl. I love me some Carl. I love when he be like, whatever, please. Nikki, please. I love when he do that. I really, truly love when he does that. Anywho, so Carl invites Scotty and Miss JT to his home. Carl has a lot of things going on. He's a part of another web reality series. He, dropped this album. He's doing interviews. He's recording videos. So he got a lot going on. And he heard through the grapevine that his best bitch, Scotty, and his little sis, Miss JT, got a little bit of friction going on, and he heard they don't like each other. So with his messy self being his messy self, he summons them to come to his humble abode and for some wine. No cheese, no charcuterie board, none of that. Just some wine and some tea. We find out that Carl will be leaving for Miami, so they just want to get together and kiki. Now in the confessional, Miss JT say we the big three. Now Miss JT, please don't say that again. Find something else to call y'all little group. But the big three, please, 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 please. Miss JT also let us know that Scotty and her are having growing pains within their friendship. So everybody let Scotty know, hey, we've been seeing you and Bando all over the internet. What the hell is going on with this whole situation? Because you told us that y'all not kicking it, y'all just friends. But what we saw on the internet after that studio session, it looked like y'all a little bit more cozy than what you are stating. So Miss JT was making little innuendos about this studio session, and Scotty like, it sounds like you know something. And she like, no, but I'm trying to find out. So Scotty spills the beans on what was going on at the studio session. The line may link up with Bando at some point to do a little collaboration. Also had a conversation with Bando's producer, and they might be doing the collab. Scotty also let them know that Bando was expressing how he was feeling about DJ and how he doesn't show up. Then he also told them that the line had said, hey, y'all looking a little cozy. Y'all show y'all just friends. Miss JT said, well, what did you say? Man, because y'all sure do love using that friend word. And y'all don't see me cuddling it up with y'all. You know, you using that word friend real loosely. So in Scotty's confessional, he said Bando is kicking it up a notch. And I'm wondering why. I'm not complaining because that's what I wanted this whole time. But I am wondering why he's kicking it up a notch. And Scotty, we are all wondering why he is kicking it up a notch. Now, Carl wanted to know, when did this whole situation take a turn? Ms. JT also chimed in and said, yeah, because, I want to support you in Bando. And Scotty fired back and said, do you? Do you really want to support him? Do you? Do you? Once again, in another episode, it is stated that Carl feels like Bando isn't gay. So then Ms. JT proceeds to ask Carl, so do you believe the clout chasing story? And Carl states that he isn't saying that. He just feels like he's seen the market. He's coming in with his beard, this whole masculine presenting. And the boys is just gobbling it up, you know what I'm saying? And so he believes that Bando is going to take advantage of that. And then he's going to turn around and go get some pussy later. So in this scene, I wanted to know how Scotty felt hearing his best bitch, Carl, have that sentiment towards a guy that he wants to be with. Also, I wanted to know how he felt about Miss JT and all this meddling that she is doing, because it's ridiculous. It's almost like you ain't got nothing else to do, so you in everybody else's business, and it's getting tiring. So Carl let us know that he met up with Bando at some point, and he told Bando to his face that he thought that Bando wasn't gay. And Bando took this opportunity to prove a point to Carl, grabbed Scotty up by the neck, and just let his tongue all down his throat. And Carl said That don't matter. I be at the club drunk as hell, kissing on bitches. And so that doesn't matter. And honestly, Scotty, that's kind of telling. So after Carl said that, Miss JT wanted to know how Scotty really felt about Bando, like real shit. Like, how do you feel about Bando? So they chime over to the confessional, and in the confessional, Miss JT was like, Scotty, you really about to piss me off. And honestly, Miss JT, you about to piss me off. I just feel like you're way too invested in something that has absolutely nothing to do with you. Like, being so involved in whatever the fuck they got going on makes me feel like you may want to have something going on with either said party. And I love my friends down, but I'm not that invested in what the fuck they got going on. Cause I got my own shit going on. So either you ain't got shit going on and you got too much time on your hands and you're invested in what they got going on, or you may be interested in one of the two parties within that whole situation. I don't know, but it's time for you to let it go. They let you know what they got going on when they got it going on, okay? Miss JT also goes on to state that she feel like that Scotty is gaslighting her, Bernie, and everybody. And I want to know how you come to that conclusion. But either way, he did state that they trying to figure it out. At some point, he let you know they was trying to figure it out. Let them figure it out. Okay? Let them figure it out. But Scotty is her friend. She truly cares about him. And she's going to support whatever the hell they got going on. Whatever that may be. And make it silent support. Not vocal. Silent support. Okay? So now they move the conversation forward. And they move on and start to discuss DJ. Carl and Scotty are actual real life friends with DJ. So they're more understanding on what's going on with DJ. They know a little bit more about what's going on with DJ. So after the studio, somehow word got back to DJ about Bando's feelings towards him as far as him not being available and showing up. And they had a conversation about everything, and it ended up being cool. Like, there was some type of mutual understanding between Bando and DJ that they got on one accord. So apparently, behind the scenes, Scotty let Miss JT know that DJ is experiencing some things, and he had that conversation with DJ. Like, hey, people in the group trying to get to know you, won't you tell them what's going on so they can have a little bit more understanding and you can have some type of support there. So after Scotty says this, Miss JT makes it clear that she isn't a fan of DJ, and I'm wondering why. Sidebar, this is my opinion. Miss JT, you take New York from Flavor of Love HBIC moniker to heart. Like, you make me feel like that if you ain't top dog, if you ain't controlling shit, then you don't care what everybody else got to say. Now, I also will state, when you was going forward and spilling the tea with Carl and Scotty about your meetup with DJ, you feel like he was taking shots, and you feel like y'all don't have that type of relationship where he can do that. And this is where I'm going to tug on your pretty little wig. You were in your feelings about something that he said, But you chose not to address it because why? It was not the time nor the place. So this whole situation with the telephone games in regards to the Line's guest that was invited to his grand opening and you addressing it. When you met with DJ, he said something you didn't like, you clocked it, and you didn't address it. But here with Scotty and Carl, you are addressing it. You felt some type of way, but you didn't address it with DJ because that was not the time nor the place, correct? So, how can you feel any kind of way about the Line talking to DJ Scotty Bando, expressing how he felt, how you chose to address him at his grand opening about the people he chose to invite on his guest list for his grand opening? Yeah. You come across like everything has to be about you. You the HBIC. I'm seeing where this is going. And yeah, I ain't feeling this, Miss JT. I'm letting you know right now, I'm not feeling this. So apparently, off screen, Scotty, DJ, and Miss JT had a three-way conversation, and her gay husband, y'all gonna have to explain that to me. Her gay husband, Drew, was brought up, and there's a backstory to that. So apparently DJ and Drew used to talk, and she had no idea admittedly that Drew and DJ used to talk. Drew and Miss JT are newly friends, maybe about 3 years. So she doesn't know everything. So in this conversation, DJ volunteered the information that they used to talk, and he began to express his grievances about how he felt about their breakup. And he expressed, allegedly to Ms. JT, that he felt like there was a little bit of colorism involving his breakup with Drew, and that if he seen Josh, he wouldn't speak, and a whole bunch of little messy stuff. Now, side note, I don't even like how you conveying this, in this situation with Carl and Scotty. It just sounds nasty. I'm going to be completely honest with you. So, she gone to express that she just wasn't feeling it. She was taken aback. So she didn't say anything. Yet again, here you are expressing your grievances and woes with Carl and Scotty and not with DJ. So you get not a tad bit, a whole lot of bit disrespectful by calling that man a slut monkey. First of all, black people and the word monkey don't need to be going in the same sentence. Let's get that clear. Secondly, how you gonna call this man a slut? You said you don't know him, so how you calling him a slut? Ms. JT, you pissing me off in this episode. So here at this point, I'm going to be honest, Scotty, you had on the right color for this scene because, baby, I was red motherfucking hot. She was pissing me off, and honestly, I felt like you were holding your own for a little bit because it's hard to sit there and listen to somebody speak the way they speaking about your friend. But Scotty had a fucking enough. He had enough. He said, see, you doing what you like to do. Here you go, talking about people that I'm close with. And she says, isn't that the point? No, that's not the point. That's a boundary that you are refusing to not respect. That's what that is. She proceeds to say, isn't that the point? Because that's the thing. I would rather you handle your friend. Excuse me? Handle my friend? He grown. Whatever gripe you got with him, take that up with him. Don't discuss that shit with me because you know how I feel about that. You put me in an uncomfortable spot that I don't want to be in discussing my friend negatively to me. So then Miss JT was like, well, you was on the phone, so you know what I'm saying is valid. And Scotty said, whether your point was valid or not, what does that have to do with your initial issue of him making jokes when y'all had y'all meet up? So in her confessional, she was like, and I'm paraphrasing, I'm just stating my humble opinion. No, your opinion don't be humble. And it's starting to make me feel like that you are a perpetual victim. And I don't want to think that of you, Ms. JT, but you really do be causing force chaos. Like, you gotta stop with this shit. Like, you finding something for everything. And it's annoying at this point. Like, oh, it's annoying. Respectfully speaking. In Scotty's confessional, everything he said, I 100% agreed. She liked to create lists and problems when there aren't any. She proceeds to ask Scotty, when have I ever created a problem? And Scotty said, you're creating one right now. You're creating growing pains with everyone. And don't nobody have time for that shit, Miss JT. Side note, Carl, you messy as hell. All that giggling and cackling and laughing in the background would have pissed me off too. So Miss JT was sitting there and she wanted to know why Scotty was villainizing her. And Scotty let her know, like, I'm not villainizing you. You just keep constantly putting me in an uncomfortable spot when you're speaking about people that I care about to me negatively. You can feel however you want to feel. Your feelings may be valid, but you discuss that shit with the person you got the gripe with or when I'm not around, because you know I'm going to feel some kind of way. And it's starting to get aggravating, and I feel like you're doing it on purpose at this point. Now, that little tidbit was my personal. Basically, to sum it up, Scotty said, wrap this shit up. I'm not discussing how you feel about DJ with you because I don't want to talk about it because that's my friend. Then she proceeded to say, well, you like to go tell the girls anyway. Well, if you're going to give me information to divulge to the girls, and these are my girls, you think I'm not going to say nothing to my girls? Calling him Goldilocks. And then Carl chimes in and say, not the three bears. Now, in the confessional, Scotty said the three of them had this conversation. And in that conversation, they agreed to not bring it up for this series. But look what's going on. Miss JT up here bringing it up and creating drama. Now, Miss JT, if that conversation was had between you, Scotty, and DJ, you lack boundaries and I wouldn't fuck with you because it looked like you are doing shit for clout. This was messy as hell. Y'all having a personal conversation that ain't got shit to do with the show. DJ is expressing to you how he feel regardless of your friendship with Drew and Josh or whatever their names is. I don't want to come off like I'm being disrespectful. Whatever their names is, because of your friendship with them, you decide that you want to bring this conversation in front of the cameras. That's disrespectful. If DJ decide not to fuck with you, Miss JT, you caused that and you will have to take accountability for that. Scotty summed it up best. It's giving untrustworthy. Carl asked in the confessional, being his messy self, said, clearly I've missed a lot because I've had a lot going on. I'm glad that the girls have been getting together, but clearly it seemed like a lot of mess has been going on and I'm getting all the juicy details. Carl also stated in his confessionals that he's a little bit confused because he's getting the key out of it, but also the tongue lashing between Miss JT and Scotty got him a little confused. Miss JT in the conversation wanted to know what was the difference between him and her, because she felt like Scotty was being a bone carrier in the situation with the telephone game with her and Delon, versus she is being quote unquote direct because she approached Bando with the situation. She approached him with the situation, but she ain't approached DJ with the situation. Now, I don't know if Scotty caught that she said right there in his face that she was going to be causing some shit and creating drama at his book launch. Right there, she said she going to be confronting DJ and Minnie. And also warned him to not insert himself in what was going on at the event. So, Scotty, I hope you was aware at that conversation that she told you right then and there that she was going to be starting some bullshit at your book release. Ooh, that Scotty gang gonna tear her up. Scotty made a clarification. There is a difference. I didn't come to you talking shit about the line, but you're coming to me talking shit about DJ. That's the difference. Now I need to go back and correct some because I thought she said slut monkey, but it said slut bucket. So I will apologize. I don't know if I'm going to edit it out, but I will apologize about the mix-up. I had to put the closed caption on this time. So she called that man a slut bucket. Either way, you crossed the line, got disrespectful, and called that man out of his name. Miss JT also brought up the rumor that she heard about Bando knowing Carl's ex James and wanted to know what was going on with that. Baby, after all of this that we just discussed about DJ, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't give a fuck. I'm going home. That would be how I would feel. Don't ask me no more questions. Then she goes on to say little things like this is why I feel like I'm being gaslit. Scotty in his confessional wanted to know how was he gaslighting and berating Miss JT when every time they link up, she badgering him about what he got going on with him and Bando. And he just plainly said, stay the fuck out my business. And I'm going to have to roll with that sentiment. Leave that man alone. So Miss JT said, see, this is why I be on Bando ass. Because what is you doing? What are you doing? And Scotty, what are you going to do about it? And the scene is to be continued. So this episode, I'm going to be honest. This shit had me hot as hell. Miss JT had me pissed off this episode. But this episode was so good and so juicy. And I was here for it. I'm going to give this episode a A+. Next episode, I'm going to see if Miss JT can redeem herself. But right now, I'm pissed off with you, girl. I am pissed. But anywho, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a huge favor. Drop a green heart for me. Let me know what you think about the review. Drop down in the comments and have some discord with me because I really would like to know how you guys are feeling about this episode. And if I'm not mistaken, they're going to have a super episode tomorrow for the season finale. And selfishly, I do not want this to end, but I'm definitely excited to see what season 2 is going to bring us and how the quality is going to change for us. I'm just super excited to see what's going on. But with all that being said, I'm your girl, Miss O, with the reality check report, and I am checking out.